In a shroud of darkness, everything is silent. Okay, let me start that again. In a shroud of darkness, everything is silent, because there is nothing. But in this desolate void, there is a glimmer of hope. Some kid on the internet who thinks people actually enjoy his content, so he decides to make a live stream talk show. Introducing I'm not gonna go completely all out on that. It's me. It's the Aidan Elliott show. That's right. I'm here. I'm talking to you. I don't know, that was a start. As I crash everything on the ground. Let's see if we can get this going here. There we go. Kind of. We're rocking and rolling. Is there popping? Is there popping going on? Sorry, you guys have a slight delay, so I'm waiting to see if everything's good. Is there popping on the mic? Hold on, I'm gonna listen. Is there popping? Is there popping going on? There's a slight popping. I don't think I'm gonna be able to fix it. But yeah. Sorry, I got kind of a weird setup here. But we're rocking. And we're rolling. So, welcome to the Aidan Elliott Show. I'm your host for this evening, Aidan Elliott. We're going to be having some fun here. That's right, I am wearing my glasses. And we've got some stuff to talk about. And I've got some jazz in the background. This is going to be a classy evening. I forgot to make my tea, so I might do that later. This has been a mess setting up, but it's nothing new. So, I've got a couple things to talk about before we really get into this. First, I'm going to explain what the Aidan Elliott Show is actually going to look like, because it's kind of been shrouded in mystery. So, the Aidan Elliott Show is essentially, it's bad when I have to think about it. Basically, it's going to be a kind of a conglomerate of things, mainly a live stream talk show. In the future, I'm going to have special guests on here, and it's not just going to be me screwing around the entire time. But we're going to talk about ARGs, we're going to talk about movies, and we're going to talk about anything and everything that's creative and the happenings of whoever I have on. But for now, and for this episode, it's going to be only me. So you're stuck with me for the next hour or so. Yeah. How are you guys? Yeah, the audio and video are slightly out of sync. This is because I'm having to do an interesting setup. I am streaming the video feed from my smartphone wirelessly to my computer and then streaming from there. And I didn't have any other options for this, otherwise, you know, wait, hold on. Let me show you what my onboard webcam looks like. It's pretty crappy. Wait. Let me show you here. This is quality. Oh no, what is this? What is this nonsense? This looks like trash. It's absolute garbage. This other webcam is way better. But yes. So I'm going to be talking to you guys, chatting it up. A little bit later, when I get some of my self-promotion out of the way, I'm going to be talking with you guys through Discord. So if you want to chat with me, I am going to be going into the chill zone and selecting one person to chat with and then calling them on Discord to have a little chat. But yeah, so let's get some things out of the way. I want to talk about some of my own projects and kind of give a better update of what's going on with my stuff, because the update video I did was rushed and I didn't even work on it in the slightest. I just kind of put it out there as an advertisement for this, which will be more of an actual update in it. So Factors of Zero is a thing I'm making now. If you're on this, if you're watching this and you don't know, I have a web series project on a separate channel called Factors of Zero, and I'm not going to go super in depth about it. You're just gonna have to watch it yourself. And also with the subject matter of the web series, I'm not going to be really answering questions about Factors of Zero, except for behind the scenes. You can ask me anything behind the scenes, well, almost anything behind the scenes wise with Factors of Zero. Yeah, so that's what Factors of Zero is. You should definitely go check that out if you haven't. It's probably one of my best works yet, which is not saying a whole lot, but you should still go check it out. I have another project I'm working on right now. It's a short film, sci-fi short film called Counting Sheep, and it's going to be premiering on Steering Frame within the next few months, so keep a lookout for that. Right now I'm only in pre-production for that, haven't started filming yet. Filming has been pushed back because of holidays and the schedules of myself and other people involved. Oh ho ho, my good friend, may you mind speaking of this thing known as Steering Frame. Yeah, so Steering Frame is basically, I don't want to call it a production label, but is essentially a name and a channel and a brand where I, along with a group of other very talented people, are just gonna make stuff and put it under Steering Frame. And Counting Sheep is gonna be one of those things. So go check out the Steering Frame YouTube channel. You'll find some other great projects there, and including Counting Sheep in the near future. So I have a Patreon now. It is now time for Patreon chilling. Essentially, here's the bottom line. I'm not running ads on any of my channels. Anything I own, I've never run ads on. So I'm getting no AdSense money, and this is on purpose because I don't want to deal with, especially now, the system of the YouTube apocalypse, the adpocalypse. and have to deal with the whole demonetizing and getting frustrated over that. I'm not going to get but 5 cents for my videos anyways because of the viewership I rake in. So I'm going towards Patreon to get any expendable income I possibly can to put towards future projects and to make them better quality in production, and just be able to have that extra cash for whenever I need it for props or feeding cast and crew, anything like that. Feeding cast and crew, that means usually me most of the time. But yeah, so I would really appreciate it. Even $1 will tremendously help me in my future projects, and just having that income and putting you as the audience into the executive producer and studio chair. You're the one that is funding my work, so in that you get a say, you get kind of a say in what I make, and I will listen to your feedback very intently on the stuff that I do make, and if there's any changes or anything you guys would prefer seeing, or just changes in general, I'm more than happy to listen and accommodate that, because I want you guys to also enjoy my work as much as I do. So yeah, there's my Patreon shill. I promise I won't do any more Patreon shilling. That's the last one of this evening. But yeah, I'm trying to think of anything else I need to go through. If you guys have any questions, please let me know. I'll be answering questions throughout most of the evening, even though I'm going to be talking about very specific topics, specifically ARG and movie recommendations. So yeah, I feel like I need to adjust this camera a little bit. It's a little low. I don't want to talk down to you guys. I'll just be up here. So yeah. Why was Cave of Shadows killed off? That's a good question. I'm glad you brought that up, because I meant to talk about it. Thank you for reminding me. Long story short, I wrote in a big paragraph on Discord, and I will be. I don't think I'm going to be expanding that paragraph, because as I look back on it, it pretty much said things as well as I think I possibly could. So I'm probably just going to copy that and put it elsewhere as a reasoning to why Cave of Shadows was got the guillotine chopping block. But essentially, as a too long didn't read short synopsis of the reasoning is that it no longer feels adequate for me. It's work that I'm not super proud of, and there's a whole bunch of stuff that came up because of Cave of Shadows that it was just a nightmare to deal with. And not only that, but as far as the story, I'm interested enough in the story that I want to bring the story back into a completely different series and different format, and be able to tell the story the way I want to tell it, and that requires leaving Cave of Shadows behind. It was going slow anyway. Production was really slow for multiple reasons. Part of it was that actors that I had gotten on board that I needed for future videos just didn't have the time to go out and shoot what I needed, and schedules were not overlapping well, and between that and not being it was as much as I used to be, it was just a nightmare to keep up with, and it kind of ended up feeling like kind of a weight on me. So, but yeah, so now I have
I've killed it. I'm no longer working on it. If you didn't know that, by the way, sorry to bring the news to you so bluntly, but yeah, I'm done with Cave of Shadows for now, and well, I don't want to say for now. Cave of Shadows, the concept behind it is going to stay, and I'm going to put that into something else. But as far as the name, the brand, the format, all of that is gone. So yeah. Can you please turn down music? How about you just get more ads? How about that? Does that sound good? Okay. It's fine. Don't you want a jazzy evening? It might help if I turn down my mask volume. That might help a little bit. I think the audio encoding maybe on. I was dealing with issues with that, and yeah, I'll try to fix this the next time. This is partially why I called this episode 0, and why I didn't bring anyone on, because if I'm going to embarrass someone, it's going to be only me, dealing with technical issues and trying to get all of the kinks worked out. And yeah. All of you reacting to the music. But my voice suddenly deepened. Huh. That's a little weird. Maybe it's just the way I was talking. I don't know. I wish I could give this a listen so I can know what you guys are talking about. But I can't. Actually, no, wait. This is extremely unprofessional, but I'm gonna go and listen to it. So far, don't worry about it. I'm a qualified years. Did you guys enjoy the musical sequence at the beginning? Was that good? Oh, that sounds... Oh, no. Oh, no. That is not good audio. Oh, dude, that is awful. I am so sorry. Usually when people say, oh, the audio is crackling, or oh, your voice got a little there. Listen to it, and I'm like, it is that bad. It is, yikes. Let me see if I can fix this without, because see, the problem is, once I start this streaming, it does not want me to change anything while I am streaming. And, yeah. It's not letting me do anything for the audio. Urgh. That's a big mess. I knew it was too good to be true for something like this to go smoothly without audio issues. Oh, did it go back? I didn't do anything. This is completely out of my hands. Oh my god. Oh no. The problem is I can't do like any tests to see if this actually yeah, I will be more prepared next time, I promise. I don't know why my voice is doing that. That's nuts, dude. I might have to stop the stream because that's like really bad. I'm not using OBS. I'm using XSplit, which I don't know. Maybe I need to switch to OBS because I've had nothing but problems with XSplit, but I've never been I need audio preview. Wait, hold on. No, I can't do that. No, I can't do that. Yeah. It's gotten worse over time. See, this is... I thought it would be better than this. This is ridiculous. Video problems are one thing, but audio problems is just... This is supposed to be a podcast. Or not a podcast necessarily, but a talk show, and this is ridiculous. Look on explanation. Why would you do that? Look, it's just what I've been using. It's just what I'm used to. The jazz is fine, though it's something with my microphone. Let me try something. I think I have a solution. It's not gonna be pretty, but it's a solution nonetheless. I can hear I can hear. It's with the microphone. It has nothing to do with XSplit. Because I can hear it. That's messed up. Test. No, my voice is still messed up. Test. Test. Okay. I think I fixed it. It's not as good of a mic. Doesn't sound great, but it's better. There's no popping now. This jazz is now stressing me out as I'm trying to troubleshoot on stream. Are you kidding me, dude? Is that good?
It sounds better. Okay. I'm not gonna touch anything else. I'm just gonna leave it the way it is. Because I am not messing with that. Let me see. Let's see what it sounds like on stream now. It sounds good to me because I was hearing that mic popping from my end, so that means it's a hardware issue, which is not fun. Yeah, that's good. That's good enough. I'm gonna turn down the jazz just a tad. It's a little hot. That's better. Okay. Okay. Yeah. That was a nightmare. Let me try. I'm gonna try one more thing just to see if I can make it any easier on myself. Does this sound alright to you? Is this good? I want to see if this is good. I think it should be, logistically. My voice just isn't as nice though. That sucks. Yeah, it sounds good. Sweet. Okay, I'm glad I didn't have to stop the stream entirely, because that would have been an absolute nightmare. I mean, this is still an absolute nightmare, but it's less so. Rockin'. So, how are you guys after all of that? Best 25 minutes of any live stream? It's certainly something. I wouldn't say it's the best, but it's something. How many viewers do we got right now? 13? It's not bad. It's about what I expect. Honestly, live streams get so little like viewership, like you would be shocked. Just unless you're a massive channel. Well, now I'm going to take this opportunity to talk to some of you guys. Who do we got in the chill zone? We got... Oh, Blader is not be able to talk. Okay, so we got Ryan, Zillus, and Mudo. Do you want to... Let's spin the wheel. See who we get to talk to first. We're gonna go through all of you, so don't worry about it. All right. You guys ready? Zillas, what's up, dude? Okay, hold on. Hold up. Rockin'. Give me 1 second. And I'm ready to call you, dude, so get ready. Get prepared. What's up, dude? What's up? Wait, he can't hear me. Can you hear me now?
I believe so.
Fantastic. How you doing, dude?
I'm doing all right. Just relaxing.
Same here, or at least trying to after lots of live stream snafu. But
I know how it feels.
so, how are you?
Doing all right. Just been watching Factors of Zero, watching it, and then analyzing,
That's awesome.
trying to work my own theories out. It's not working out too well.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I intentionally kind of made it where like let me just make it as hard as possible for any theorist to like try to uncover this thing. So I expect that you're doing your best, and that's definitely it's not just what counts. It's exactly where I want you to be. So
Yeah. So you said you're answering questions tonight, right?
yes, ask
All right.
away.
I have 4 questions that I wrote down a good, I don't know, 20 minutes ago. Oh,
Okay.
people are saying turn down the mic.
What's that? Oh, do I need to turn?
Either that or I can turn myself down.
No, I can turn you down. I don't have earbuds in right now, and I'm trying to avoid that. So there we go.
Oh, okay, I got you. All right. Is that good, everybody?
There's like a 1 minute delay. It's crazy.
Oh, yeah. It's ridiculous.
Oh, turn it. Oh, I see what the issue is. All right, no, I got this. I got this, guys. Don't worry about it. There we go. Now you're not
I'm
as
just
loud.
I'm reading the Discord and people are dying of anxiety.
Live streaming is hard, dude. It's.
Oh, I know.
It's a
I mean,
mess.
I tried earlier. I was playing, like, I don't know, Hitman or Blood Money, trying to live stream it. It was ridiculous.
I was trying to watch a little bit of that, but I guess my internet was just utter trash, and I could like not watch it at all.
I don't know, something with my video bitrate was messed up. I ended up fixing it.
Huh.
All right, so back to what I was gonna ask a minute ago before everybody died. So I have 4 questions I wrote about 20 minutes ago, just kind of, just some general questions about yourself and a couple ARG projects,
Yeah.
So the first one was, what was your childhood like to try to build you up into the person you are?
That's actually a great question. I don't really. It's not something that I really think about often. I they always say like tortured artists always have like messed up childhoods and all that. But I never really had that. I had a pretty good childhood. Probably maybe the only thing about it was that I was pretty lonely because I was actually homeschooled for the majority of my early years. I was homeschooled up until middle school, and then I went to an actual school. So I didn't have many friends, and I just kind of, I was pretty lonely. That's like the only thing I can think of. But everything else was great. I had a pretty great childhood.
All right, cool. That's 1 question down. Let me erase that. All right. So, next question, that kind of leads up from the last question. What drove you to start creating ARG videos and aspects?
2 words: Marble Hornets.
Okay.
That was I don't know why, but it was. So I'm 17 now, so you gotta keep in mind when Marble Hornets came out, I was like 10, 11
Hmm.
when I found it, and I just ate that shit up. I was all over it. Um, and Yeah, that was actually really the one thing that really, like, less so of the Slenderverse and like Tribe 12. Like, I enjoyed those, but for me, Marble Hornets was like the big kicker of like, well, I'm really interested in doing more of this, like, maybe not necessarily found footage, but kind of this like internet web series idea where everything is portrayed as if it's real. Um, and so yeah, Marble Hornets was like a big inspiration for me early on, and that's actually when I started kind of working on the idea of Cave of Shadows, and it took quite a few years until that came to fruition, and I actually released it and had an actual production on it, and that was like Cave of Shadows was my first real serious ARG, and you know everyone's first project sucks. I'd like to say that maybe I had something going considering that I got as much viewership as I did, which was actually really surprising. I thought I would maybe get a couple hundred views at most, and that would make me content. But I got a couple thousand, and it was definitely kind of it was definitely surprising for me then because I was looking at everyone else's stuff. I wasn't thinking like that I could make something that people actually wanted to watch. I was just making stuff for myself. I never thought about having an audience or other people actually enjoying it as well until Cave of Shadows. So that was a big growth for me after just like honing in on Marble Hornets early on. That between Marble Hornets and Cave of Shadows, there was a big shift. Um, but yeah. Anyway, I'm derailing from the initial question. But
No, that kind of fits the bill. I mean, most of the little projects or little videos I made were terrible starting out, absolutely terrible.
yeah,
And I get where you're coming from. So,
cool.
all right, I guess that leads into the next question. What advice do you give to aspiring filmmakers and artists?
Um, that's a good question. I think I have to think about it for a second. I think the thought that immediately came to mind is uh, make your own work, which sounds kind of like I don't know. It sounds kind of pretentious and just a generic thing to say, but I think a lot of people get kind of wrapped up. They see something, and then they want to mimic it, and that's what I struggle with some of the stuff that I made super early on after watching Marble Hornets, because I was just obsessed with Marble Hornets, and that's all I wanted to. I just wanted to make my own Marble Hornets. I think that's an unhealthy place to come from when creating, and that's why I tend to not really have inspirations anymore, at least for my current work, because really the biggest inspiration for me is myself, as far as my own life, my own style, and that's something that you have to develop, and it takes time to develop it, and I've barely scratched the surface of what my style is and what my projects look like. I'm just starting to see just a tiny little peek of it uh, in factors of zero. But I mean, even Cave of Shadows, I think, while it was different enough, I think it was too inspired by Marble Hornets instead of wanting to be, its own thing.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I bet the whole when I think it was Scare Theater reviewed the Cave of Shadows, the box for the first time.
Yeah,
Yeah, I would think that would be quite a big inspiration on how much of an influence you can put on the internet by just setting up a little story.
yeah,
It's crazy.
yeah. It's really, yeah. That whole experience was really eye-opening for me, only because, like I said before, I wasn't thinking in the scope of trying to graft people in. I was only thinking in the scope of, okay, what do I like making, and what kind of product do I want to see? Because really, I was the only person invested in my work um, early on, and so to see such a shift of people actually looking into it and being interested in it, even if they didn't like it, even if they hated it, the fact that they took time out of their day to watch it and to talk about it at all is an honor, um, and I respect every single one of my viewers just because they've viewed my work. That's something that I early on didn't think that would even be a dream, and then it suddenly comes to fruition, and I'm just awestruck by it.
Well, I have one more question, and this one kind of goes off the topic of yourself. This goes more into behind the scenes of the creations that you've created. Um, how long does an average Factors of Zero take to write and produce?
That's a great question. Um, Most of the time, so you'll see, I've been trying to get better about it. I haven't done better about it since Oblivion. I was hoping to get another video out by now, but because of the holidays and I went out of town to see family and all of that, it just didn't happen. Um, but you'll see, maybe like about a month between, average about a month between each video. And I will admit that most of that is not actual physical labor. It's not me writing or filming or editing or anything like that. It's just me um, either avoiding it completely, which you would think happens a lot, but I usually it's only for the first few days after the upload. Like whenever I finish something, I just let off the gas, and I just try to avoid it as much as possible and avoid that so I don't get burnt out on it. And that takes a couple of days. Um, but really, most of the time, I think in that month's time is really just thinking about what the next video is, because I have a general idea of where it's going, and I have a vague concept of what each video looks like, but come into that doesn't come into its own until I am up against that video. I'm not working 2-3 videos forward. I'm making one video at a time, which isn't exactly something that I want to continue doing. But so far, it's been good only because being able to really think out each episode and make each episode the best it can possibly be. And really pack in those 4 or 5 minutes into an experience that people want to see, and that it furthers the story well, because I don't want to have filler or just get something out, just for the sake of having it out there as a next episode to keep people, keep people coming. So yeah, short answer, it takes about maybe 2-3 weeks of thinking about it. Then I actually write it down, usually in about a day. Most of the video scripts I write up in several hours, usually late in the night, and it just comes to me, and I just write it all down. And then maybe takes a day, not a full day, but a couple hours in the day to film. Maybe more if I have more complex shots that I'm doing, like the Oblivion episode took. I'm trying to think. It took about 2-3 days of filming, because I wanted to get sunset, and
Right.
so I only shot about an hour or two each day, which, that's not something I'm going to be doing every time, but that's just an example of how long it takes. So usually, I think it takes about a day to film, and then editing, depending on how much is there, it'll probably take a day. So altogether, probably 3 days of actual work done. So in that regard, I should be pumping these out, but I'm not yet. But I'm working on that, and I want to get faster with getting them out there.
Right. I mean, you can tell with any video that you produce, you have that care that you want to put into a video, that you want to do these things. There's some people out here that just kind of put out videos because, hey, I can do it, not because, hey, I want this to look good.
Yeah.
There's that fine line.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and that's what I don't think I always pull that off. I think there are some times where I'm just like, okay, I just gotta get a video out there, is because I feel like I'm so slow in my schedule. But I try to stay away from that. And but there's also a balance in putting care into videos, and also just not being lazy and not taking forever just to release another video, which I feel like I tend to go on the side of more laziness.
Right.
But yeah. Well, thank you so much for
that's all I've got.
questions. Yeah, it was great talking with you, man.
Yeah, it's good talking.
Yep. So, bye, I guess.
All right.
See you around. Rockin'. So, I got way more out of that than I thought I would. Thanks, Zillis. It's great stuff. Oh great, we got some more people in the chat. I'm gonna scroll up and look for any questions that you guys asked. I think Zillis was doing the heavy lifting on that one. Yeah, I don't think there's anything. Hey Jack and Admiral and ECAT and Jenna. Oh, and Lachlan. Hey Lachlan. Sweet. I'm gonna leave it at that for now because that was way longer than I was anticipating. I'll get some other people here in a little bit, but I want to talk about some ARGs. Is there jazz right now? I just can't hear it. Whatever. I'm assuming there is. So I want to talk about a couple of ARGs. Some of them are old, but kind of more like recaps and just kind of maybe giving more like recommendations if you guys haven't seen them, but also kind of discussing and analyzing maybe just a tad, and also talking about some things that I dislike. Let's see what. First off, I got Daisy Brown. So, if you don't know, Daisy Brown is an ARG about a monster named Alan and his caretaker Daisy. And Alan is a puppet, and which that fact alone is really, I think it was a hook for a lot of people, because like it's just not something that you see a custom handcrafted puppet as, you know, the lead in an ARG, and it really stuck out, especially at the time when it first came out, because it wasn't super edgy or dark or trying to be completely serious. I think there's kind of a comedic tone to it that's maybe like offbeat humor, just a little bit, which is really refreshing to see in an ARG, because you don't get many ARG comedies, or except for maybe like Alan Tutorial and that whole thing where where it's still dark, but you get kind of a lighthearted comedy out of it. It's like dark humor almost, but not quite. Anyway, Daisy Brown really interests me now because there was a video that just came out, because it was kind of cool and interesting, but at least for me, I put it kind of on the back burner until the video that was just released from her, where apparently Alan pulled all of her hair out, and she's it's only like a 1-minute video, and she's crying, and you just see all of this hair in the sink, and I don't know, it really piqued my interest, and I suggest checking out Daisy Brown, especially now because things seem to be picking up as far as the underlying plot that you kind of could tell was there, but now it's like at the forefront. So please go check out Daisy Brown. She deserves tons of attention. She's already gotten quite a bit, but I think she deserves more, and I hope that more people interested in ARGs get to check out her stuff. 70 Broad, which is a familiar name to most of you, I think. If you haven't heard about it by now, which I would be shocked if you didn't, it's an ARG about a creator who got, I'm trying to figure out how to summarize it without missing anything. Essentially it's an ARG within an ARG. Essentially, the creator got in trouble for having this gun as a prop, and everything just kind of spiraled out of control from there. The initial 70 Broad ARG got basically canceled, and so the creator comes out, and he's the creator of 70 Broad, but he also kind of makes it into this vlog channel, so it is an ARG within an ARG. And while most of it I really like, I felt like the latest videos under the playlist Rabbit Hole have been exceptionally good. Like, holy crap, if you haven't watched 70 Broad yet, go watch it, and finally things are getting are picking up pace in this Rabbit Hole arc, and I really suggest going and checking that out, because I think something's it's gonna go somewhere, and it's gonna be really interesting to see, especially with George's character slowly devolving, and we've been seeing that very slowly and subtly over the course of the last year or so, but now it seems to be really picking up there, and yeah, so please go check out 70 Broad if you haven't. Those two were kind of quick, but this next one is is a little interesting. I don't want to just go on and on about my dislikes for it, but Doki Doki Literature Club is something that's been going around the ARG community for maybe a few weeks. I saw it before. It's older. Actually, no. Yeah, it's been going on. I think it entered the ARG sphere like maybe a month or two ago, and I wasn't really interested in it just because of the subject matter. It's a Japanese visual novel, and that's just not my thing. Even if it has some kind of twist to it, it's like, but lately it's been really picking up pace as far as interest in the ARG community, and I finally played it. A couple of my friends basically kind of forced me and had an intervention that I needed to play it, so I somewhat reluctantly did. Well, before I say anything more about it, you should go play it. Even if you just hate it, it is an experience that is worth it. And by the way, if you're wondering, I'm not going to give any spoilers here. This is going to be pretty vague. So, well, it depends on what you think is spoil. If you think any information about the game is spoilers, then yeah, no, mute this now if you really don't want to hear about it. But I'm not going to give specific game event spoilers. I didn't like it as much as I thought I would. There was a lot of hype and attention towards it, and I was really, as I played it, it starts off kind of slow, and then it picks up. It takes really maybe 2 hours of gameplay before you really get to see anything happen. And I felt like the execution of it was, I don't know. I have, at this point, I have a love-hate relationship with Doki Doki. It is, and I'm also trying to explain it without giving any specific spoilers, which is a little difficult. But the direction that it went in, I felt kind of disappointed by, because there was so much hype around it. While playing it, and when events started happening, I was thinking, oh, it's going to go in this direction, and then the game was like, no, we are going in this direction, and it was still enjoyable, but it wasn't something just absolutely groundbreaking that I felt like was an experience that I would actively recommend everyone to play. You still should play it, but I'm not going to sit here and tell you that this is the best game ever, or that it is even a substantial game to play if you're interested in ARGs. It's what it sets out to do, which is difficult to tell until the very end. You don't realize what it's actually doing until pretty much the last few minutes of the game. But what it sets out to do, it does well. But it is not something that, when I was playing it, it felt like it led me in a direction that I thought it was going to go, and then it didn't go. And then I felt disappointed by it, and then I was just kind of sort of indifferent to the direction it did actually go. So it ended up not having as much of an impact on me as I think it would have been if I went in without any hype, any pressure from anyone in the community. So my long story short, my recommendation is to play it, but have no expectations whatsoever. Just have an open mind and play it, and if you get something out of it, then fantastic. I think it's an enjoyable experience gameplay-wise, but the intentions of it, I felt like, were kind of maybe a little bit contrived, but like I said, it is still worth. Fix my mic. Is it messed up again? I'm trying to give a review here. God. I'll tell you what, after my mouth is kind of tired from talking nonstop, so I'm gonna go and grab some tea, and I will be right back. It's gonna be like maybe 5, maybe 10 minutes at the most break. So I will be right back. chest. Psst, psst, psst. Psst, psst, psst. Does that sound better? Is that better for you guys? Let me know as soon as possible. I did not get tea. I ended up getting orange juice, but it'll do. I don't know what it is with this audio problem, but I'm switching to OBS next time I stream, I promise. Rockin'. Alright, audio seems to be working good. If it starts going ballistic again, I'm gonna like shoot something. Okay, so after ranting about Doki Doki for a little bit, hold on, I need to turn down the jazz just a tad. Is it too loud, too soft? That seems a little better. Yeah, turn down the jazz, I gotcha. So I found this ARG on the ARG subreddit called The Channel. I will admit it is not the best thing ever, right? However, on the latest video, well, wait, before I get into that, let me explain this ARG a little bit. It's, here, I'm gonna share my screen. It is basically, it's weird. It is weird. Oh, I don't want that webcam, thank you. Let me see. Yeah, this is bizarre, but, it's called The Channel, and it's these kinds of videos, and it looks like it's going to be the worst thing ever, but actually, in video 2, it actually has production quality. You think it won't, but wait for it. It'll play. So anyway, it's that kind of stuff, and you know, it may not be the best thing ever, but it is getting somewhere, and it is interesting, and it has production value. I have faith in it. But then on the latest video, made 5 days ago, is a comment that kind of struck me a little funny. This. Hold on, let me get a better screenshot. I kind of wanted to take this comment and take use it as an excuse to kind of talk about this thing that people do where it could be, if it is anything less if the project is anything less than the second coming of Christ, then people will just utterly shit on it and just destroy it for apparently no good reason, except that they dislike it, which it's fine. No one is asking you or begging you to like something or forcing you to. But to say that the product is not good objectively, and that they should, not only that it's not good, but letting them know very clearly that they should, quote, quit while they're behind and just give up and stop making videos and stop getting better. It's messed up. And I don't get why people do it. Especially in ARGs, where your product, the stuff you watch is already limited, because you have to weed out all of the binary garbage. You have to weed out all of the scare theater bait nonsense, because most of the time it doesn't even have a story. So you have a very limited margin of projects and series that you can actually watch, and then to just shit on them and just basically tell them to stop doing what they're doing is just the opposite of creating a space for creativity and productivity. And it's a mess. So anyway, I just wanted to put this little seed in your minds, because comments like these are not going to get anyone anywhere. And like I said, the channel is not the best thing ever, but I would rather them continue to do what they're doing and make better and better videos than to just stop because the beginning isn't that great. I don't know. I'm crazy. I don't know what I'm talking about. So yeah. Let's chat with some other people. Who we got? We got Mudo, Lachlan, and Ryan. Alright, gotta spin the wheel. Hold on. Gotta spin the wheel. Let's see who gets in. Right. No. Lachlan. Alright, Lucky Boy. You're getting you're getting a visit from Aidan Santa Elliott. Aidan Claus. Hey, dude. You there?
Yep, I am here. Just
Hey man,
1 sec. Hey man, how are you?
pretty good. How about you?
Yeah, I'm doing well. Just give me 1 second to grab my phone charger, so then I won't drop off.
Gotcha. Sorry you're a little quiet. I need to crank you up just a tad. You're not as
I have to-
loud as Zilla's.
Yeah, I
Zilla's
have-
was just so loud.
Yeah, I have to use my phone mic because I haven't got a.
Yeah, you're fine, man.
That's good.
So do you have anything to share with the class?
Share with the class. There was this one question, like questions and stuff like that.
Yeah, shoot, go for it.
All right. Okay. Well, I think one I want to ask is oh, 1 sec. Sorry. The stream's lagging a bit, so I'm just gonna pause it. So, are you inspired? Do you get inspired by like things or events in your past, or anything like that?
That's a great question.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
If I am, it is completely subconscious.
Right.
I don't know. That's a good question to ask because that would be something that I'd really have to think about. Because I mean, clearly I use a lot of that for Factors of Zero specifically, but as far as a wide scope and what my creative style is like, I wouldn't say that it completely revolves around my own experiences.
Yeah. Well, let me try and think of another question. When did you start getting involved, or when did you start becoming interested in like filming and ARGs and stuff like that?
Well, for filming, it was actually really early on. I knew I wanted to be a filmmaker or in the film industry since I can remember, and specifically since I was 5 years old. And that's when I made my first short film. If you're wondering, with Factors of Zero, that is an actual thing. I didn't fabricate that.
Yeah.
I had an actual short film, stop motion short film that I made when I was 5.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah.
Well,
for ARGs, I think I said this before, but definitely Marble Hornets really got me into ARGs. I hadn't really discovered any of that beforehand. And I think that's also why I'm super interested in before Marble Hornets, really ARGs kind of encompass this whole idea of it doesn't necessarily have to be in a video format or in, a more traditional structure. But I felt like Marble Hornets was a really happy medium, and that's what really inspired me initially to get into ARGs, and that's why I haven't really dabbled into, I guess, more traditional ARGs using websites and forums and all of that. I do a little bit, but my main prerogative is film and using the techniques of film as a vehicle for the ARG format.
Yeah, that's rather interesting. I remember I also had my niche for filming come in like a bit early. Well, when I was like, I think around 5 to 8, around ages 5 to 8, I used to make like these kind of stop motion these kind of stop motion Lego short films. Yeah, and they were pretty cool. Like I made like Titanic ones and all that. They're pretty sweet. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is about stop motion, but like it seems like a lot of people started out that way. I guess because it was easy if you were younger.
Yeah, mainly what I used to do is like I used to position for like each shot. I used to position like the Lego figure, and just take a picture of it, and then just do the same thing over and over again.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's why I mainly did. And it was simple. Yeah, I unfortunately lost them all when my computer broke. But
That's a shame.
that was still good memories.
Yeah, that's cool. That's interesting
Yeah,
to know. There's a like with the people that I've met that are also interested in ARGs, or even just non-traditional forms of storytelling, just kind of the same influences. Like I don't know what it is, but real talk, like a lot of people that are into surrealist horror or surrealist anything, including ARGs or whatever, I've noticed a pattern that those types of people were watched VeggieTales.
Yeah, VeggieTales.
Yeah, I mean, under normal circumstances, I wouldn't make that that connection between VeggieTales and surrealist horror, but I don't know. When I look back on it and when I watch like some of VeggieTales again, I don't know. It seems definitely like a gateway to surrealism, and in a really cool way. And so that's why I made that distinction.
I've noticed.
It's interesting.
Yeah, I've noticed some stuff like that while watching like old children's shows from like the late 90s, early 2000s, particularly stuff that involves like odd objects and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I just noticed that. Yeah, and yeah, and let's not also forget, the weirdums.
Yeah, actually, I did not make that. It's actually unlisted now because I was going to do something with it, and I just don't have the time to now. I might revisit it. We'll see.
Yeah, I noticed that it was like, wasn't it uploaded in 2007 or something like that, and it got taken down or something like that?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Another question I have is that how do you get your ideas for stuff for ARGs and other creative projects? Like, what are your methods and what are your methods to get ideas for creative projects?
That's I couldn't give you like a legitimate answer to that. It really just depends. I will say that a lot of my ideas so far have actually come from just shower thoughts. Whether that's like I don't know why, but like the shower is usually my thinking place where there's no distractions. All I'm doing is I'm just in there and I'm left with my own thoughts. And so my mind kind of wanders and I go down these rabbit trails in my head, and I end up inadvertently just coming up with crazy stuff that I don't think I would have otherwise. And that's where I came up with the idea for both Factors of Zero and for Cave of Shadows. And at the time, both of those were not under those names. They were called other things, and both of those projects have gone under tons of evolutions before they were actually released. I've actually spent a lot of time thinking and mentally processing those things.
Yeah.
Which I don't recommend, by the way, because you kind of become obsessive, and when you don't have like a release, both physically and mentally, releasing your stuff, but also having a mental release from that obsession. When you don't have that and you prolong it, it can get kind of crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's interesting, Aidan. Thanks for that answer. I find another interesting way of finding creative ideas is also through meditation. Because I've done meditation a few times, and I've noticed that while I haven't gone through with some of these ideas that have come over my head, I just found interesting what kind of stuff appears in your head during meditation and all that.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah, and it's really it's something for the individual to figure out where they can get that inspiration. For me, it's in the shower. For someone else, it could be something somewhere completely different. You just gotta find what works for you, and there's no regardless of what celebrities will say. You just gotta find out what works for you. There's no method that works for everyone.
That is true, yeah.
Well, it was great talking to you, man. I think I'm gonna move on here, but I appreciate the questions and talking with you.
Yeah, no worries, man. I'll talk to you some other time then.
Yeah, sounds good. See you around, dude.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Oh, cut him off. Whoops. Cool. My mouth is getting tired. I don't talk this often. Rockin'. So let's talk about movies. Let's see, what do I got here? I got 3 movies that I've seen sometime recently. And they're not awesome. None of them are actually really new movies, but definitely recommendations I think you guys should watch. The 2015 Danny Boyle, Steve Jobs, that movie is absolutely amazing, and I recommend it to everyone. It's such a great movie, and the writing was by, I'm trying to forget names now because I'm just doing it off the top of my head. Sorkins. And his writing is always a very unique style and always feels very real, like real conversations, but at the same time it's also very quick and witty. And on one viewing, you're not going to catch even maybe half of the movie. It's going to take 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 viewings before you can actually catch every single detail in the movie. I just watched it today, and I believe it's my 8th or 9th viewing, and I still got something that I didn't get before in the other viewings. So it has a huge rewatchability. Let's see. Yeah, I Creep 2, Blade Runner, Jigsaw, all great movies. I'll talk about those more in future stuff when I'm not running on an hour and a half here. Just gonna go through what I have put down. Treasure Planet is absolutely fantastic. It is famously did not do well at the box office, and one of Disney's biggest failures in their movie lineup. But it is ironically one of the best animated movies they've ever made. It's based on Treasure Island, but upgraded into kind of a steampunk-ish vibe, and the characters are great. The soundtrack is great. The detail, even avoiding Disney tropes that even modern Disney movies, 3D Disney movies, Frozen, Inside Out, all of those, they think they're avoiding the tropes, but they're not. The Treasure Planet really avoids a lot of tropes, and it has a healthy amount of subversion, and it is just, it's brilliant, and it's so fun to watch. And the animation too is top notch. It has a mix between CGI and traditional animation, but not, it blends really well. And some of it you can kind of tell because of the technique they used for the CG stuff. It looks dated, but dated in that you can tell it was from a specific time period, not because it was bad, but because that's just the technique that they used a lot during that time. You see some of the, I believe it's called deep canvas. That's like the technique that they use for the CG to blend it with the traditional animation. But you see that in like Lion King and some of Disney's other animated movies, where they used a little bit of CG in there. But Treasure Planet has a lot more. In fact, like 80% of the movie is CG, only because of the huge set pieces and the ships and the massive backgrounds. But it is it's really impressive to watch, and I highly recommend it if you haven't seen Treasure Planet. And if you have, I would recommend watching it again if it's been a while, because I had watched it when I was really young, and I was not impressed by it at all. And then I watch it now, and it's one of my favorite animated movies. So I would give it a second chance if you haven't seen it in a long time. I got one more movie on my list, The Secret Life of Walter Mitty. I've talked about this movie before. It is one of my favorites, if not my most favorite, or my favorite movie of all time. It's directed and acted by Ben Stiller, and it is not like his normal stuff. It's not like Night at the Museum. It's not like Zoolander. It's not like any of that. It actually has a much different tone, and being on the more hipster side of things, I probably appreciate the tone more than most. But it is still a fantastic movie, and the deep emotion that it has is really interesting to see, especially in this time and age when it feels like there's not that much emotion in modern movies, like especially superhero movies and anything that is for wide audiences feels kind of watered down. And Walter Mitty just doesn't hold back on that. I've seen a lot of arguments saying that it's preachy. I don't think it's preachy. It is just true to itself. The core of the movie is this idea. And that idea, while it wasn't explored completely, the same core was in the original short story that it was based off of. So if you haven't seen it, I would recommend watching it. It's going to be either a hit or miss for you. For me, it was an absolute hit. I know not everyone. It's not for everyone, but I'd recommend trying it out and seeing if you like it. And because if you do, it really is worth a watch. And it is one of the few movies that similar to Steve Jobs, where I can continue watching it and maybe not get something different every time, but it never feels tired to me. I never get tired of it. almost always just pop it on and watch it and get enjoyment out of it. I'm never, I've watched that movie like, I think I've watched it like 20, 30 times now. I don't know, it just has a lot of rewatchability for me, and it's not incredibly, I just blanked on the word I was looking for. Anyway, I'm rambling. I don't need to keep going on and on about it. But yeah, Secret Life of Walter Mitty is a great movie, and I highly recommend watching it. So, it is getting late. It is almost midnight my time. And I'm getting tired, and I don't have anything else on my list. So I am going to pop in to the chill zone, if I can here. I'm actually gonna, just so I don't get any feedback, I'm gonna pull out my earbuds and just chat with you guys for a little bit before I sign out. Sign off. Rockin'. Hey! Wait. Am I there? Am I there yet? Come on, give it to me. Come on, there we go. I'm in.
You made it.
I made it.
Hello.
Here.
Oh my god.
Can you, like, alternatively not?
I'm fine.
Thanks for letting me know. Really appreciate it.
This is tripping me out.
Hey yo.
Should I get my harmonica,
Oh god.
my kazoo, or my Tibetan singing bowl?
We are going to be listening.
Listening to what exactly?
I don't know. I muted the stream so it wouldn't echo.
Oh yeah,
Oh my god.
that might help.
These have
Or in health.
answers.
I immediately regret this decision to get into this.
So that's what my voice sounds like.
Make Pillow Monster 2.0.
No, please.
It's probably stream.
Pick another measly peasant to join your stream.
Could not handle that. Noise spam galore.
Pick a fucking measly peasant to join your.
A peasant. Or a
The
measly
Hold on,
peasant.
for peasant.
Grateful peasant. Choose it. Choose the attack helicopter.
I don't know how to feel right now.
Violated.
The claw.
Yeah, that's about right. That's about
Yeah,
right.
same here.
So did you guys enjoy the stream?
It
No.
was good.
It was alright.
Is it over?
It could have gone better.
Never do
I
this
mean-
again.
No, I mean, I'm still streaming, but I mean, like, the show part of it is over. This is more like the after party before I sign off.
Party!
The after party.
This is the part where it gets really cancerous.
Yeah,
This is the part where everybody's getting sick and they're trying to drive home.
this is the part where everyone that's watching this after it's live just immediately leaves because there's nothing left. There's nothing. You're not getting.
This is the part where we
anything
put a
good here.
curse that kills everyone who watches it.
Go play.
Hopefully,
Oh,
hopefully,
let's all agree.
next time I'm going to ditch XSplit. I'm going to use OBS, and
There
I'm
you go.
gonna not
I just
have
ditched the
audio
stream.
issues. I'm actually surprised this is the first time that I've had audio issues and not video issues. Before it was the opposite.
No,
I
you
had
had
video
video
issues all
issues.
the
Video
too.
issues were like very brief,
Well,
but
that's
you
true.
had them.
But now I have like, there's a slight delay, but at least I have a decent camera that, you know, you can see me without all the grain and the nonsense.
The audio issues were a lot
The
worse.
grain and the nonsense was the cool part.
Was it though? Was
Yeah.
it the cool part?
You think we really want to look at you?
Well,
Jesus
Oh.
Christ.
you
I
could
don't.
be like a little more subtle about it.
At least your balls.
I have issues. Video,
Okay.
Back
video,
to another
audio,
episode of
and
Mike
mental.
sounds like a goddamn fucking inside of a popcorn machine.
What? What does?
Like, I swear to God, in different parts of the fucking stream, it just kind of
Oh
like,
yeah,
okay,
that was a minute. I don't know why. There's always been issues like that.
I swear to God,
yeah. I just need to
talking
try.
would just be like,
I need to try
like fucking midget,
OBS
man.
instead of
360.
XSplit. Like, who uses XSplit? Why am I
Nobody.
using it?
It'd
Poor
sound like a
people.
midget.
I swear, if you paid for it, you're garbage, man.
No, I didn't pay for it. I promise.
Thank God.
No,
Poor
I would
people
never
use
do
it.
that.
Shit out of me.
It's terrible.
So bad.
Can I promise that if I put in my buds, nobody's gonna beat the shit out of me?
I'll still beat you just because your name's Jack.
I love how there's a ton of people in here, but only 3 of us are talking.
Everyone's
up? I'll
just
talk.
listening in. This camera,
Would you-
I mean, this microphone isn't that bad. It's just not the quality that I would prefer, but at least it's not like trying to talk through a Campbell soup can.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing that might help is, like, with the echo or anything, is just a little bit of soundproofing. Or, you know, something on the
Yeah.
wall your wall is bare in your house.
I mean, the microphone that you're hearing right now is just my onboard mic. It's just the internal one. I'm not using my super nice condenser mic because that's
Let's
making
be
me
honest.
like
Your Wi-Fi is a
have
potato.
super
Your
puberty.
microphone is Campbell's.
Yeah, seriously. I was
Your
like,
Sounds like my
monitor
voice.
is like your monitor is a Kellogg's cereal box.
Yes.
Your entire setup is household items.
I'm
Look,
using
when you're not getting much money, you just gotta make do. You know.
Am I not paying it? Fuck. I told my parents, I'm like, take my $30 that I make and just fucking keep on sending that shit to the Patreon.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
I'm like,
It's
make
going.
me a
It's
broke
slow,
boy. I
but it's
wanna
going to
be
good
broke.
stuff.
I want to be broke.
I'm getting a 360 camera soon, so that'll be
Oh, I swear
fun.
to God, if you're gonna say Xbox 360, I was gonna.
No,
be
no,
like,
no, no,
boy,
no,
oh,
no, no, no,
fuck.
no, no,
Fuck,
no.
am I sending you money for?
I'm not a console. No.
Yeah, you're a
PC Master Race, dude, all the way.
You're like, oh, you fucking console players. You guys have aimbot, you fucking hackers.
360 camera is way cooler than Xbox.
Who the hell is
I honestly,
Just
Fly,
kinda like
shut up.
Who the
mute
fuck is
Flytrap.
putting ice? Like, who the hell is who just stuck their fucking microphone underneath an ice?
I honestly have no clue what's going on right now.
Yeah, I don't either. I think I'm just gonna stop the stream because this was fun, but
Stream
if
was
it,
fun.
If it isn't better
it's
next
better
time,
when
I'm
you
gonna like
fucking have
kill
one
someone.
person. It's better when you have like
Kill
literally
me.
when you had Lotch, when you had what's his? Can't even think. of his name.
Lachlan?
Yeah, isn't it Lotch? I'm pretty sure it's.
It's Loch.
Is it Lotch?
Lachalan?
I've been saying his name the whole time wrong. Then I've always said Lotch.
It's Lachlan.
Okay, well, I'm gonna end the stream here, guys. This was fun. It'll definitely be better next time. This is why this is episode 0 and not episode 1. But made it something. I think it was relatively successful, and I'm excited to do another episode. So thank you for watching, and this is me signing off. See ya. Bye.